About 4 years ago, and that's the reason we're here today. Today is the 2012 Welcome Back from Tallahassee breakfast. We're welcoming back our legislators from the Miami-Dade delegation. Let me tell you something. When you go to Tallahassee, trust me what I'm going to say here, you make a difference. You make the difference. This organization has gone for 4 years. The first year we had about 35 people. The second year we had 67. The third year we had 85. This year we had 120 citizen lobbyists from all across Florida. And we're just getting started. We're just getting started. In the last couple of years we've helped pass the ultrasound bill, a stronger parental notification law. This year, among other bills last year, this year we helped pass a resolution supporting Israel and a school prayer bill. A school prayer bill. Now let me tell you, the reason that's significant is because it's been 9 years since that bill was filed, in 2003. And every single year was shot down. Every single year was shot down. If you have not been to Tallahassee, you'll hear about that in a few minutes later on. You need to go to Tallahassee. You need to make the time. Don't tell me you're too busy. When you go to Tallahassee, each individual represents 5,000 people. You can't make a greater impact than that, my friends. We now, for the second year in a row, have hosted the Florida Leadership Prayer Breakfast in Tallahassee. Now, this prayer breakfast was a tradition in Tallahassee through 2006. It was discontinued because of changes in state law. It was a huge event at the Leon County Civic Center, and it was discontinued for about 4 years. We picked it up in 2011, and we held it for the second time this year. We had Speaker Dean Cannon attend and be one of the featured keynote speakers. Senate President Mike Herodopoulos and U.S. Senate candidate Rick Santorum all appeared to a crowd of over 200 people over at the Florida State University campus this year. CNN covered it. It was a wonderful event, but more important than that, it helped not put this organization as much as what this organization stands for. It helped put your values and my values on the map in the state capitol of Tallahassee. Thank you. Your support has made that possible. And we're so blessed this morning because we have so many friends here who are elected officials. You know, people in high places, we can say. And they're here today because they want to address you, they want to speak to you, they want to tell you what happened in Tallahassee.
Senator Tony, I want to thank you, Eladio, and all the members of the Christian Family Coalition for being an organization of action.
Yes.
There are organizations and leaders that take positions, say this is what I'm in favor, this is what I'm against, and then there are people that actually work to fight for what they believe in, and the Christian Family Coalition has proven to do that, so thank you.
I really, really want to thank not just Anthony, but the entire Christian Family Coalition and all of you that are here. It is, I think, I understand that it can be very discouraging when we read about politics, current events, about politicians, about corruption, or about so many things that it just seems that we are bombarded by negativity. And we are bombarded by messages of saying that our message and our side will not win, or cannot make a difference. And I'm here to tell you that the absolute opposite is true. We live, and particularly in Tallahassee, it is a very intense environment. We're only up in Tallahassee for 2 months out of the year. Well, we're in session for 2 months out of the year. And a pro-life, pro-family agenda is not on the agenda of presiding officers when they come to Tallahassee. No one that is in the leadership stands up and says, my priority is to pass a school prayer bill, or my priority is to pass a pro-life bill. None of the guys, and it's mostly guys, the leaders at least, that's not their focus. And so then there's so many of us that are as the real ground troops that go by and say, well, you know what, that might not be the reason why you ran for Senate President, it might not be the reason why you ran for Speaker, but it's the reason why I ran for State Senator. It's the reason why so many of these people here ran for State Representative, because life issues and family issues, it is what defines me as a person. Amen. There are not gray issues when it comes, and particularly for me, I mean, the sanctity of life is something that is so important to me. I mean, everyone knows, I mean, that is my priority. That is, I think, one of the things that defines me as a legislator. And the successes that we have had in what is really mostly a very hostile environment over the last couple of years in Tallahassee has been directly attributed to the folks that are sitting in this room. For those of you who have been to Tallahassee, I thank you. I thank you so much, because your voice, your being up there talking to folks makes a difference. And I see so many faces of people that we met with in the hallway, I think, and with I had the 6-month-old was smaller when I was in Tallahassee, so he's in the office with me, and so people see that I really breathe and live the life message, because I've got the baby with me in the office. And the folks I know that came to Tallahassee. We had to have a quick, brief meeting in the hallway, but sometimes the hallway meetings are the most successful ones. But your voice up there made a difference. Your prayers, for those of you that stayed here, made an incredible difference. And believe me, as legislators, we need those prayers. We need that reminder of, okay, this is why we have been called to do this job. This is why we have been called to make a difference. Because one of the frustrating things that I always say about being an elected official is that all of us, I can get into office and say, we want to change the world. We want to change the world from one day to the next. And you realize that it's not quite that possible. But then over the years, you realize that you are able to change the world little by little by little. And the difference that we have made, I mean, there have been, and I don't want to say everything because no one else is going to have anything to talk about. But I'll just talk for a quick second about the successes that we have had on pro-life issues. For years, we tried to pass a bill, as you all know, to require an ultrasound for a woman prior to having an abortion. And for years, we were denied. And for years, several of us were so incredibly discouraged and said, is Florida going to allow this to happen? And after much prayer and hard work and years, we passed a legislation, and it is now the law in the state of Florida, that any time before a woman goes to have an abortion, she is going to have an ultrasound. And I will tell you that if that law saves just one baby, and I believe it'll save many more. There's also a constitutional amendment that's going to be on the ballot in November. It is, in my opinion, the most important thing that we will be voting on in November, more important than president, more important than anything else. Because if this constitutional amendment passes, what it says is that Florida will then be in a position to one day actually outlaw abortion completely. That everyone will keep you informed, but as we go to November, most of us by the time November comes around will know who we're going to vote for president, for senator, and people on the line, but maybe sometimes people aren't that too sure about the constitutional amendments and what to do. It takes 60% to change the Constitution. That means that it's going to take everybody in this room to go and tell 10 people, and those 10 people to go 10 more, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because once we can change that, we will have said that the culture of life is alive and well in the state of Florida. And so I just want to thank you all so very much. We have very difficult and sometimes very long days in Tallahassee. But being able to come to a group like this and to come and see so many, just happy faces on a Saturday morning reminds us of why we're doing what we do. And on every issue, I may not agree on every issue with all of my colleagues that are here 100% of the time. We don't agree on 100% of the time. But what sets this group apart is that we agree 100% of the time on the issues that are absolutely the most important, the issues of life, the issues of family, the issues of the quality of life. So thank you all so very much. I appreciate it.
I am a big supporter of the Christian Family Coalition, and I have been for close to 2 decades now. And that's a pretty long record. That's a pretty long track record, which has taken me through a number of battles together with Tony, who is a guy who has the fighting spirit that comes from the knowledge that when you're right, you're right, and that if God is with you, who can be against you?
In Tallahassee, I've learned a lot about the way that Tallahassee works, and it's an overwhelming place, it really is. I've also worked with my colleagues in the Senate and accomplished a lot of good things for our community. And I just wanted to touch on a couple bills that we passed this year, starting here in the Dayton delegation, that I'm very proud of. And I think there are things that good people should be supporting and good people should know about.